Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well and that the start of this week is taking care of you. Beginning of the winter in New Zealand and the start of the summer in other places in the world. So today I felt I needed to sit with you. It's been interesting because I haven't recorded a podcast since the 17th of June. So it's been a bit less than 10 days, which is so interesting. And I was like, oh, what is this, And it's been interesting, because I have been feeling for the last week this pressure. And I don't know if I shared it in my previous episode because, I have a YouTube channel in French that I share a lot on as well. And then I have all my individual session where I talk a lot, So I was like, have I shared this? But anyway, I know in my last episode I talked about Uranus and my journey with it and all of that. So here has been interesting because I felt actually amazing coming out, having that declick, with Uranus was so strong. And I was like, wow, some things is really reviving within me. I feel my magic again. Not that I didn't feel it before, but, like these things in you, the butterfly, the energy that is willing to uplift you, that gives you the energy to do again everything that you are meant to do and really bring you on that space. I always love what I do, but having that extra feeling, especially when, you lose your inspiration sometimes. You're like, am I supposed to do this? And then some days you do, some days you question, and it's not that you lose faith, but you question if you are on the right path. And that happened, to the best of us. And so it's very interesting because a couple of days after I had this really surge of expansion, I felt again a pressure. And so my question goes always, is it me? Is it the treatment that I'm going to give, the remedy I'm going to prepare? Because me, if you have listened to this podcast for a little while, you know that I feel everything. And when I mean I feel everything, it means I live what the person is experiencing to actually understand what is going on. And sometimes I don't realize. And then I'm like, but why am I like this? I remember one day I had this fight in me and I started to argue. And I was like, there was absolutely no issue in my relationship, but I started to argue and I was like, what the hell is this? Where is this coming from? And then the next day I had a client and I was actually experiencing what the person was experiencing. So it's so interesting. So when I say I feel all, it's very hard to describe, but it's like I receive the energy of the person that I'm going to work with, that it is to make them a remedy, that it is to work with. Then I receive also the energy when I'm going to channel for example, on my YouTube channel in French, I channel for each sign of the astrology sign, because that's a good way, to for people to feel, oh, that's a message for me. And I feel it all viscerally. I experience that. And sometimes I experience it a week before or just like the night before. It's actually crazy. And people have said, oh, Julie, you don't have enough boundaries with what you do. No, I I now disagree with this. And why? Because I am someone who protect myself all the time. I do the protocol before, after, during, you know. And actually, I think it is my way of being able to do this work. I feel it. And it's the same, when I channel for a ceremony, I receive the being within me. And I know it might be very weird for some of you to understand that, but it's like the spirit of the person come in my body to share what they have to share. And so for some of you who have experienced the ceremonies, you understand what it is. And for you who have experienced individual session, you understand as well when a being come within me, because you feel it, you feel the presence of somebody else. And I'm totally aware of it, and I know it's for the highest good of all, always, because I really work on that frequency. But it is interesting, and I have come really used to be that. Um, and I know that it is the way I can support people. I feel in my body, and I see, and I sense. So it's been quite interesting, because legitimacy about who I am has been and who I have been for a year has been a really huge journey into my life, because it's like even with Lyme, I didn't feel legitimate to go through Lyme. And it's a weird feeling, because it's like you go through the illness, but you don't feel legitimate of it. it and I know you might be like, whoa, what do you mean by that? What I mean is really a bit like, when you feel you are someone, but there's a part of you who don't feel you own that. I don't know if it's from humility or it's from not feeling good enough, not feeling that, maybe it's the imposter syndrome. I'm not someone who talk about imposter syndrome, but maybe it's part of that. I have heard that say many times, not from me, but from people who actually recognize themselves into that. I never really, me and label, it's quite a big thing. I don't really like label, and maybe that's why I haven't been able to feel legitimate of the journey I have been in under certain title, because I don't like them very much. Although in the society we live, that's how we kind of like represent who we are, and that somehow has its importance. And it's interesting. So after this energy with Uranus, I felt this pressure in me. And so my question was like, where is that coming from? Is it me? Is it a clown? But I didn't think about the collective, because I don't watch news at all. I don't have Facebook on my phone. It is removed from my computer. I just open it when I need to post things in, but I don't actually go in. So I don't receive information, because I never click on anything, and the algorithm know that I'm not interested in all of that. And it's not that I'm not interested about all of that. I think it's a way of protecting myself, because I feel it even if I don't watch it. And so I want to stay quite clear because of the work that I'm doing. And if I'm bombarded by all those energy, I am not clear to actually be able to do the work that I do. And that's a reality. And so I came very clear with that reality, and I had to actually set boundaries about those things. Anyway, felt that pressure, and I was like, oh my God. And then a friend of mine contacted me, do you feel this, Julie? And I know when she contacted me, it's like, okay, I need to take attention to this. Okay, yes, I feel this, and it's strong. And what keeps coming, and even yesterday, I was sitting outside in the night sky. I was listening, to the stars, to the energy of the sky, because I'm so connected to it. I'm so connected to this universe, to this cosmos, to all of it, and to the earth. I feel it, it's like I feel the vibration. And lately I have heard that the universe is going into silence. And for some of you, might be like, but what does that mean? And I have been the same. I have been, what does that mean? And I don't know if I shared that in my previous episode, but what I felt about this is that the universe is giving space for us. I'm pretty sure I shared that actually. What I was sharing is that the universe is giving us space, and it's not giving us any answer about the questioning we have about the future. First, because the future is uncertain, but also because it wants us to take back in our hand our power to decide where we want our future to go. So it is like, I was sharing this video, and I know I probably have said that in my previous episode. I'm sorry if I don't remember what I'm talking about in previous episode. It's just like I said to you, I come and I talk and I often channel what I'm saying. So I'm shown what I need to talk about. And therefore, I don't always remember. And because I talk on different platforms, in French, in English, sometimes, I'm not sure. I know I have said that somewhere. But anyway, and so it's interesting because it's really willing us and it's showing me this very strong image. And that was, I'm pretty sure, when I was channeling for the signs of Sagittarius in my French channel. And it was like really saying that there is some things in our hand, some things in our hand that we need to take back. And there is this feeling that if we are not part of some things, a wound is awakening within some things, like we are rejected, like we are abandoned again. And so there is a part of us that feels sometimes need to be part of certain things when they not need to be part of it. Anyway, the other video that I done last year was about this two timeline collapsing. And that was when Pluto entered the sign of Aquarius in, I think it was the 16th or the 19th of November 2024. And it was entering that space for the next 20 years. And at that moment, I felt that yes, one timeline was going to be chosen, but that it was really about us to choose the timeline we wanted to play on. And so I guess here, why the universe is so quiet and not giving you anything, because it's so noisy in the world right now. There is so much fear mongering, amongst us. And I'm not saying that, nothing is happening. Absolutely not, because then I realize, what all this pressure was about, which, I'm not going to talk about because I'm not here to bring the subject here. I don't feel that is what I'm supposed to talk about. But this pressure and this collective fear about what is happening or what might happen, because that's often what it is, we apprehend what is going to happen. We have a choice. We have a choice in what we are playing it. And that is the silence of the universe. And yesterday I channeled the message that I'm going to read to you in a minute. It came in French, but I translated it in English. And I think it is important because it's very relevant. And I felt it was deeply connected with the new moon that is going to be in, I don't know if it's tonight or in the next few days. I know I'm supposed to do a ceremony on Friday. But anyway, so I know it's on its way somewhere. I didn't check the sky right now. And it's in the sign of Cancer. And is actually accompanied by Jupiter, who just entered that sign, who is at the moment, is so interesting, in square with Saturn in the sign of, where is it right now? Oh, come on, Julie. Oh, yeah, Aries. In the sign of Aries with Neptune, square, Jupiter square those. And it's been super interesting with this energy because I do feel, somehow we are not able to see anything about what is stopping us from accessing certain part of ourselves. And why is that? Is because we are stopping ourselves from accessing those parts because there is a part of us who don't believe they can actually, and I'm hearing, be legitimate of happiness. And now today the message I'm receiving is because, the whole world is not at peace. So how can I deserve this when all the world is not at peace? And this wound that is awakening is because it's reflecting the fear mongering. This energy is actually reactivating some things within you that is from, that is activated by the collective fear. And so things that you might find yourself get triggered often, and your trigger because they're always the same. Remember that they are signal. These trigger, they are signal that want to give you a message. So instead of being so afraid of the signal or of the fear that is really rising within yourself, make a choice to sit with this feeling and to ask, what are you teaching me today? What is the message? What is it that you are willing to show me? Because what I have really come to, what I have actually come to my awareness over the years I have done the work that I'm doing is that often one person who will have the same, we call symptom, to me they are signal. And why I'm saying that is because why it is an old symptom that is always coming back is because we still trigger by that symptom. And the universe or guide know that we are triggered by that symptom. So we are going to take attention to it. So therefore, because we take attention to it, but for the wrong reason, is because, oh my God, something is wrong with me. Oh my God, something is going to happen to me. Oh my God, I'm not supposed to do this because this is that. Or, is bringing the fear over. I want you to look at the other side of the coins and look actually at the message of wisdom this is willing to bestow to you, because it's so, so, so important. And I'm going to do the same, because today I had again a trigger, some things came really strongly take me. And I was like, wow, I haven't felt that for quite a long time. And as I'm channeling here, I'm going to sit down after and really listen to what was underneath it. I took care of it, but I still feel that is there lingering in me. So that means I haven't really listened to actually the meaning of it. Because usually I feel when it fall completely. When you put the finger on some things, it fall. If it stay there, if it still bother you, if it's still in your head, if it's still in your body viscerally, it means you haven't understood yet the message that is willing to bestow to you. But it's very great because it's another way at looking at certain things. So the silence you're feeling right now is because you are almost like the universe is giving you back the handle of your life. Not for you to just rely on the universe, but for you to actually be an active decider, chooser. I don't know how you will say, but an actor of the life that you would like to play in. What part do you want to play in this era, in this humanity? And to actually be very conscious of it, because remember that everything that you let yourself be taken in, or the things that you share, you keep activate the egregor. And I'm going to actually tell you what an egregor is, because I think it's some things we say a lot in French. So I'm going to give you the message of it. So an egregor is a collective thought form, a group mind, an autonomous psychic entities created by the collective beliefs, emotion, and intention of a group of people. But what is interesting is that when we focus on that, we create, when we think about certain things, we create it, and therefore some of it become true. And I know it's hard. I don't like to say that, but it's like what we say, what you put your energy in will become, So my question here is, what is the future you want to see? What is the things that you want to be part of? And focus on that. If you always talk, and it doesn't mean that, your heart and your compassion is not in that when you're not talking about it. But if you put the intention in what is not working, that's what you get more of. You know, if you focus on lack, you get more lack. If you focus on gratitude, you get more abundance in your life. So again, in this scenario, with what is happening in the world all around us, yes, we are in a big change. And yes, there is horrible things that are happening. And yes, you know, you can connect to that, to those people who are living that right now. Of course you can, and send them love. But also, where do you want to put your intention and your attention on? On what is not working, on or what is working, because you want to elevate the vibration. Imagine if all humanity focus on what is not working and the horror of what is going on, then the egregore we are creating is that as a collective. Like, you know, the fear that is emanating right now and that we all feel, we can tune in into it or we can let go of it. Okay? And it doesn't mean you're not having a thought and sending love to those people, and that you cannot do the good things that are possible to do to have an impact, you know. But remember that lifting your vibration change the vibration of the earth. And I know this might be invisible, but actually if everyone were concentrating their energy on that, I can tell you that our life, our world will be so different since a very, very long time. Okay? So this is very important. Remember, and that's why the universe is is going into silence, because they want you to become conscious of where you put your attention and your intention, because that's what creates the vibration. So it's almost is giving you free will and saying, you know, the future is in your hand. And I know that it's scary in itself, but that is really the message I'm receiving. The future is in your hand. So what are you going to do to become conscious about everything that you think, that you do, that you emanate, and catch you up when you enter those space? And I think that's what happened to me, you know, last week. It's like, wow, I was like, oh my God, Julie, this suffering from your lineage, come on, it's time to get out of it. You're playing it, you know. But I know when we are in it, it's so hard. But there is one point, we need to really break free from it. We need to be that person who choose. The only person that can save us is us. It's nobody external to us. So the only person that can get you out of that thought, it's you. And you need to break it from it. And I find someone said to me, say stop to it. You say stop to it and you do something completely different that uplift your energy. And I know it takes to be very connected to yourself, but it's good because you want to be aware. You want to be awakened. You don't want to be a person who is like that ostrich, I don't know if that's the word correct, that have his head in the sand, you know? You want to be aware, you want to be conscious. It's hard to be conscious, I can tell you. It's freaking hard because you see everything. You feel everything, you sense everything, and you see through it all. And it's hard because sometimes you feel alone, you know, in that. But do you prefer to be completely, what's the word? Asleep? And then live a life, you know, completely oblivious about the reality and actually about your responsibility into the change of everything, because it all starts from us. The external that we see and that we are triggered from is because it's still stirring somewhere in us. There is link of it. And it's not to judge you or to point the finger on you. Absolutely not. It's just to say, we can change the world by changing ourselves and our belief and the way we respond and we treat ourselves. If we treat ourselves shit, how can we expect that human treat well others? You know, it starts from us. So start from where you are. I feel this energy is so strong. It's really willing to say it, you know. So strong, so strong. I'm laughing by myself because I feel it in me. Like it's passion. It's like really willing to say, hey, wake up. Wake up. You have your responsibility into this. And this is not judgment. This is reality. This is awareness. This is you can take action without going on the front line and being in anger and because that is not serving. So I'm going to read you the message I received yesterday. Here on earth, you have the choice to be here, to go into battle or not. You are free in your choices and in the direction you have the right to take. Nothing and no one has control over you, for only you are the master of your being, dear one. The stars twinkle on the canvas of your roof, and today they tell you to find silence within yourself to regain faith. Nothing holds you back. Expect your decision to take this path. Nothing holds you back except your decision to take this path. Far from far from the laws that you have been imposed on you and accepted by you. Your will is placed back into your hands, far from despair and fear, because you have within you the strength to choose your way, your voice, and to make it heard from the highest rooftop, even if it's not heard, for it comes from the deepest part of your joy. Anger only takes hold when one has forgotten the light they carry within themselves, which always wins every battle. Dear being of the universe, remember the reason why you came to earth. The question of pleasing or displeasing no longer exists, but rather anchoring your true values of light that allow all families' beliefs to change and open the way to this new era offered to all our brothers and sisters. This is the message I received yesterday. Sorry, I baffle a bit in some of it. It's just I'm reading it from my phone, so some of the letters were mixed and also yeah, anyway, it's white and black, so maybe that's why. So I hope this really gives you some food for thought, or thought for food, no? Food for... You're going to laugh with me, oh my God, sometimes, eh? Me and my English. So yeah, I feel this really strong part of you, but it's not anger, it's passion, and it's willing to actually take you in the right place within you to bring the right outcome. And I don't like to say right or wrong, but I feel here it is to choose the timeline you want to play on, and that is your free will, and it is your birthright, and it is a choice you can make from your heart, and it really starts from you and from where you put your energy into. So wow, this was quite one of an episode that I really didn't expect we were going to go there. I just felt that I needed to sit, and here we go, nearly half an hour later. That is the message I wanted to be shared. So if this is actually really awakening some things within yourself and that you resonate with what I'm sharing, make sure to comment and to place a review, because it's very important for this podcast to grow. And again, it's really your input and your investment into this that help the message to be shared on this world. And I know there is no editing and it is raw and pure, but otherwise this podcast will never come out. So I'm just trusting that this message need to come out for a reason, for a person up there. And I know you have shared with me, a lot of you in person, how much you love this, and I love that you have come back to me to share that with me. It really makes my heart And but yeah, if you feel like sharing it publicly, that would be amazing. If not, I'll understand and I'll trust where the podcast goes. But yeah, that would be amazing. So I'm sending you again so much love, and I will find you again in another episode. You take care. Bye.